Got it.
Oh, he was quick with that.
Good job, Joel.
Good evening.
Remember what you did know?
No.
Thank you for joining us for the Public Safety Committee meeting on Monday, September 11th at 2023. We'll call the meeting to order a little bit late because of technical difficulties at 5:40. So first off, let's go ahead and take a look at the August 14th minutes.
I didn't have any questions, I went through it. I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as written.
I will second that motion. That's good to me.
Yeah.
And do we have any public comment on agenda items?
Weird.
We don't do them. For that last one, I don't think here.
Okay, all right, thank you. So, any further discussion on the minutes? And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
They said, oh, yeah.
Motion passes.
No invoice numbers on them. So.
And I don't see anybody, any comments on public agenda items?
So. Matter of.
Oh,
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 days.
So moving on to new business, discussion 2023 event review.
Well,
This is where we're at, right? Anyway.
So the
Discuss, oh, no, 2023 event review.
event review.
what do you mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, it could
Really
be,
slow around here.
it could be, you know, from the Main Street deal, Market Fest. It could be-
How's that been?
I really haven't heard too much,
I haven't either.
about Market Fest and, I've driven past a few times and it looked decently busy. You know, there was the discussion about whether or not we should close down that road. And I don't think, have we had a Market Fest since the bridge has been open?
No.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
So,
And I think there's one left. I'm not 100% sure on the date. No, there might be 2 left. So we'll have to, we can see how that goes, but yeah, you're right, I don't see the necessity of closing the street necessarily.
yeah,
Seemed like it was working okay.
yeah, I thought,
I've only been to 2 of them, so.
we even had that one during, the concert ingress, I mean, traffic still skirted around it just fine.
Yeah.
People were able to find parking. You wanna talk a little about how the concert season went, or?
Oh, that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Excuse me, Joel's been involved the whole. Process, step of the way, he's been to all the meetings and everything, and. You know, like the first event, parking with, or not, well, parking, traffic, but there was a lot of different. Equations going on. One of them, it was an older crowd. That didn't know what they were doing. And, you know, like these other events, people just glide in. That event, they just go up to the gate, hey, my kids bought these tickets for me, how do I get them off my phone? And, you know, a lot of questions. But I think. It's just gotten better every time, and then now that we're bringing them down Spring Street. And bringing them in the north end, and we have a lot of, we can stage everybody there, it's been going great. I know there's, other people parking cars. I don't care, never cared. But if we have to have a traffic plan, they need a traffic plan. So that's the only thing I am. And Joel with the Apple River liquor store there's never been an issue. Because Joel, they're up there, they monitor it. Traffic starts getting backed up, they shut that lot down, let them go by, and then they let them start filling again. These houses down on Spring Street, these 3 houses, Joel's actually got a recording of me going down there. I forgot to shut my phone off and I got into because the lady was drunk. And she was standing on the road bringing people in, traffic was backing up down Spring Street. So to me, that's an issue. The crowds have been very good. Medicals, arrests. With everything that Live Nation does with the searches, the dogs, the police, you know, I think we're good. Next year, we got revised the traffic plan a little bit to make it better.
This was, Live Nation's pretty much their first go, right?
Yes,
This year?
yeah, last year was, we did one last year and, you know, traffic was another issue.
Mhm.
But then there's also different things like, now this last show, traffic was backed up down the freeway a little bit.
Mhm.
But really not backed up too much down Double V. Because people were coming off the exit ramp and they were taking that first left by Leo Duran's, and now there was a bottleneck there. So Sheriff's Department went down there, and I guess after they were there, you know, so there's a lot of learning to do. And then with Joel with the traffic plan, and then we got Warning Lights as a company that's involved they set up all the signboards, and I mean, it's getting pretty streamlined.
I guess, you know, the biggest thing that I've heard is just the excess parking. I mean, obviously you're not charging to park,
You know,
but yet they're still parking on
Village
the
streets.
village street. And I
So we
mean,
had-
somehow we're gonna have to do something with that.
So-
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I can speak
yeah,
to that.
so, well, I'll say for the one event was during the Somerset Car Show. Was that last year or this year?
Last year.
Last year, so the Somerset Car Show was going on. There was not that many signs up on the streets.
Mhm.
Well, people come into town and they see all those cars parked on the street that are seeing the car show,
Sure.
they just. I mean, we'd run downtown, hey, there's parking free right up the site, what are you walking for, you know?
Right.
But a lot of people don't realize that it's free parking, and next summer. That billboard we got, and then I got my snowmobile one underneath it,
Mhm.
we already have the print made for that. Free parking, that we're gonna utilize that sign too,
Mhm.
so,
So egress, you know, getting the people out
Yeah.
in the last one, I think we set like a new record. It was like around an hour and 10 minutes to get everybody
Yep.
out.
Yep.
And we talked about putting people on the inside to help filter in the
Yep.
exits, and that I think really helped expedite things.
yeah.
And,
There's only so much you can do
right,
to get the people out, because if everybody goes to their car at the same time. It's just a big bottleneck, so they gotta wait, period, it's a concert, it's, you know,
yeah, but an hour isn't bad. you
No.
know, For
I don't
trickling
think
out.
no,
13,000 people or whatever. it is.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, when I was setting the no parking signs up earlier that day, there was a gal from Hudson that flagged me down, and she was in her van, and she's like, you know, do those signs mean no village park or village street parking throughout the entire village? Yeah. And she's, oh, I'm from Hudson, and I heard that parking was so bad on the venue, because I said it's free to park in the venue, you should go there. She's like, well, I heard so bad to get out that we don't wanna park there, and it's like, well, you can't park here either, you know, and then we were getting people asking like, well, how much are the tickets for parking on the street? You know, and they're like, are you actually gonna tow our cars? Maybe, you know, so we end up, we have around 300 parking violations.
did you really?
From this last
Yeah.
concert.
So then next summer, we'll make some more signs too, to
Yeah.
make it a little more, and maybe not so heavy signs, you know,
So one of the issues with the signs is, you know, I used to put them, they used to be put in the center line.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, you know, we kind of talked about it a little bit, and someone raised a concern like, but what if a motorcycle or somebody else
Yeah.
hit that? Okay, that's kind of a liability, especially at night, they're not reflected. So I started putting them on the side of the road. It's like, well, we have them at every entrance possible coming to town, and then we have extra ones throughout town. And, you know, people park right next to it and never read it. So I think we might have to, you know, put out our actual no parking signs out too and stake them in and have Public Works help us with that, especially around the main arteries here. And I think there can still be an exemption for village residents. But I think that's the only way to really obviously mark it, is to kind of put those, like we do for parade routes, so.
And you guys pretty much know who lives in town and the cars that are parked there
Yeah.
every day and
Right,
so.
yep, and then we can do a record check. and
It's just easy enough, right? If it doesn't come back to the resident here, well,
Yeah,
So we're still navigating that parking deal, and, you know, we had like village residents cheering us on as we were putting the slips under the windshield, so. You know, I think, the locals kind of appreciated a little enforcement action on that. And it's also kind of sets a precedence that, you know, this is an enforceable item that we are taking action on.
and I think with the bridge open now, that's gonna help us out a
Yeah,
little bit more too now.
Right. Directing that traffic towards the north.
So now we got
really
two
helps.
exit ramps,
It'll really help, yeah.
so.
yep, yeah, so it's slowly but surely coming together. I mean, we're making strides, everyone's improving.
Yeah, everybody's been working very hard, you know, I mean. The police department, sheriff's department, the sign guys, you know, it's.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big deal,
mhm.
so,
So the other thing I wanted to mention, because I think Andrea is listening to, is.
Yeah.
There's kind of a hiccup with the whole invoice situation. So far, the venues paid for the first concert, but it sounds like maybe something got lost in translation and, Andrea-
invoice number, yeah.
Yep, so there's something with an invoice number, and, I just talked to EJ, right before the meeting started here, and he assured me that it's been approved.
Yep, they're all approved, so now it's just a. Wait for payment,
Okay.
so.
Is there a way to streamline that process, EJ? Because effectively, Live Nation has been out of compliance with the conditional use permit the entire time.
Well,
Um,
Andrea, so Adam and me looked at, you remember the last time when those bills came? When I called or talked to you and said that they need the invoice numbers on them? And
Yeah.
then you sent the invoice numbers on them. And everything they do is a 30-day net, so it's right in that range right now where you should see them any day. Since we.
okay, but they didn't pay
That invoice
the
number.
estimates, which is. Okay, so the estimates, I put an invoice number on the estimates. Those are supposed to be paid within 15 days of the event, and they were never paid essentially.
Okay,
So,
Andrea,
the village has been paying the bills and
so
not getting
next
reimbursed.
season, can we make this a little bit easier? So I have the authority to write a check a day before, the day of, and the day after a show. So if we can get the invoice, I suppose we could cheat a couple days after. But if we could get that invoice instantly, we'd have to work with the police and the fire, then I can just write the check. We have no problem whatsoever then. Can that be streamlined to make
Okay,
it easier?
well, I mean,
Cause you're talking a big corporation that's always. a
no,
30
because,
and all that.
right, so maybe they just need to up their pay at the beginning of the event season, then I just draw from that and I can get to the final numbers, but Travis never has the numbers for the fire department the day after, and I wouldn't expect him to. And as far
Well,
as,
and
I mean, I process everything through payroll, so it's,
if we're doing,
what's that?
so say if we're gonna do, say, 6 to 9 concerts next year, it's gonna have to
Mhm.
be done that way. Cause we have to close out before the next event.
So Andrea is just
Well,
really,
and you're gonna have to hire a private firm. I cannot finalize the cost for the event the day after the event. There is no way.
So Andrea, can we do this? Can you do? We kind of know how much it costs per event. Can we do an estimate like you've been doing? And then I just cut that check the day of the show. And then the, you know, whatever it's over and above,
Yes.
then that will go to Live Nation for
reimbursement.
for that 30-day period.
Yep.
Because
So-
that would be.
And that's the whole reason for the estimate to begin with, is so that you guys have an idea and,
Yep.
yeah.
So
So yeah,
can-
that
can
would
we-
work.
Can we agree upon that then?
Yep.
So when you send me the estimate. And Joel comes to
Mhm.
drop his radio off. I will hand Joel a check,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
And then
Yep.
whatever's over
Sounds
above.
good. The only other, the other thing that I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time? So the only other thing that I would like addressed too is making sure that Live Nation or the amphitheater, whoever is working the phones, has enough staff to work the phones. We are constantly getting calls, or, you know, just a clearer communication of where you go for questions when you buy a concert ticket.
Yes.
Because the village got many calls
So did
because
So did the
everybody.
nobody was
chamber.
answering.
So did the chamber. We got
The
dozens
chamber
and
did
dozens
too?
of calls. Yep.
Go to the church.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everybody did. So at the beginning of the year. I have a
Mm-hmm.
full-time lady in the office answering phone calls. And if she doesn't answer them. It automatically goes to a Zoom. To her phone. And she is very good at answering them. So why they are calling here and the chamber and everybody is. I have no idea.
Well, I
Well,
can
and
tell
from
you
the
what
chamber, we
happens
just-
when your phone, oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Becca.
I was just gonna say from the chamber, I just have the Somerset Amphitheater number that I would just give them, but if there's a better one to have them calling, Jay, feel free to pass that along. We can make sure we give that to everybody. I think
Yeah, I
also a lot of those first calls were the older people, like you're saying, coming into town and wanting to know if there was like taxi services and transportation for older people and whatnot.
Yeah, okay,
Mhm. So I called your amphitheater number, when we were getting phone calls saying it just rings or it disconnects, and that's exactly what happened. It was like the lines were too flooded and they would just disconnect you.
was that the 247 number?
Whatever number's on your website.
Cause at the beginning of the summer, we have a new phone number, it's not 247 no more.
Yeah. So it's just, you know, something to
Yeah,
maybe
okay,
amp
well,
up a
I'll
little
make
bit.
sure that I. Work on that and get you guys, get everybody the correct phone number, email, everything. So,
EJ, is it the 334-9080?
Okay.
I don't know,
Okay,
The 247.
it's not the 247 number.
yeah, there's a 715-334-9080 listed on Google search.
That doesn't even sound right.
And it's on your website, it says venue phone number.
Okay, that must be it then.
Yep, that's the one we were sending people to.
Our last concert, it might have got a little, we had, my lady answering the phone had a stroke right during the concert, so. That might have
Oh, no.
hurt a little bit.
Okay.
Any
That's all
more?
I got. No more.
That's it?
Maybe we can add a voice prompt, you know, if you have questions about the concert, press 2, I can just go to EJ's cell phone.
Yeah, give him my cell phone.
Well, actually, frequently asked questions wouldn't be a bad idea on your
Yeah.
answering machine. Something to think about.
I've never listened to it, so I don't know what's on there, but. They have the fact sheet that's all on the website,
Yep.
so
Okay.
we get a lot of calls. Is there parking? Is it free parking? Can you bring in lawn chairs? I mean, it's just, there's so many of them and it's all on the website.
Right,
They just don't go on the website and look.
right. I do appreciate that you post that information right before the concerts, you know, when people are looking for it. I kind of like that. I was able to share it a couple times too with all
Yep.
those pertinent information. So, but yeah, people are always gonna have questions. It's,
Mhm.
yeah.
So 6 to 9 concerts next year, is that within the realm? Or maybe, yeah. Okay,
Couple 3-dayers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm. Nothing in the really big number, you know, and not a. No Taylor Swift or anything
Sure.
like that, so.
I'll
We've
get
had a
you-
lot of good feedback about the types of concerts you guys have had. It wasn't just the same type of music. We did hear a lot of comments in the positive realm that way for you.
Yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of everything next year, blues, country, rock, like the Lumineers type music, like a Trampled by Turtles or, you know, stuff like that, so.
Gives us all something to look forward to.
Yeah,
Any other concerns on your part?
We did, you know, we roughly mentioned, you know, inclement weather, where to send structures.
yeah,
What's a good solution for that? You saw what happened with Burning Man out in Nevada, past, you know.
so, this, sports complex that they're talking about,
Mhm.
I don't know how. True or, you know. How it's gonna be, but, we do have a meeting with them. And I know a couple things that have been brought up is, the road. They wanna put a road through the amphitheater. And then there's some trade-offs. And I know the one of them that they brought up, not us, that they brought up is during an evacuation. For the people that come on a bus or, you know,
Right. sure.
Uber and all that
Mhm.
would be able to use their facility. So, you know, we're working through it.
Okay.
And we still got the hockey we haven't talked to yet to see if, you know, that could be a place for people to hide out or, you know,
Mhm.
it's tough, you know,
Mhm.
the outdoor venue,
Right. It's impossible to predict exactly what's gonna happen.
yeah. I think we did good for evacuating 2 shows. That's a pretty big decision, tough. I mean, it was meeting after meeting after meeting, just instantly with the decisions of, you know, the sheriff's department, the police, Live Nation, and I don't think there was an issue with. Everybody was in agreement, nobody was, it was all about safety.
Mhm. But maybe still room for improvement, huh?
Absolutely.
Keep working on those details.
Yeah.
That's promising though, what you mentioned.
Yeah.
Because that way, and then possibly the ice,
Yeah.
the hockey rink, then
Yeah.
we have two possible venues. Okay.
We can only put so many people in our bathrooms.
Right. Okay.
Anything else, Joel?
Pretty good. Nothing I can think of. Those damn parking signs. I think we gotta clean those, the ones that we do have, I think gotta
Yeah.
get cleaned up a
Yeah,
little
we'll, yeah. And maybe we do something different with the verbiage on them too.
bit. Yes, yeah, I agree. We should rework that. Well, touch.
It's
base.
actually got a statute on it. Is that true? Is that an actual?
Well, ordinance is what gives us the authority.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, I'd have to cross-reference the statute, but then it says, the way it's worded with the. There's no break in like village residents, street parking only, like, and then we have people that live in the township that say, I'm a Somerset resident. You know, and it's just like, well, you're not wrong,
yeah,
so. Yeah, we're navigating through kind of the fallout from that,
okay.
so.
Okay.
Then I don't know if we bring this up now, but I talked to Scott also about if we do have an evacuation. And it's, you know, the curfew is, you know, it's all about safety first. And if we can run it 45 minutes after, you know, just for that certain circumstance, he's all on board about it too,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
That'll have to come up in our conditional use.
I thought we changed that to allow that.
I don't think we changed it, no, because we weren't up for review yet.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
yeah, just wanna make sure that gets
Yeah.
on there.
okay. We
Otherwise,
should probably,
I think everything else in there is,
yeah, I mean, we should probably change the language too of, you know, what Andrea was referencing regarding the estimate to be
Yes.
paid, you know, and if
Yep.
we can change that to reflect what's actually going
yeah,
on.
the estimate, the day of the show, and then the
Yeah.
balance in. I'd like to change it to 30 days because that's their,
Right,
you know,
and that gives us time to finalize all of our
okay,
stuff too,
Yep.
including Travis's,
Yep.
so.
yeah, because we've got 72 hours to put all the numbers in
Mhm,
for the show.
right,
But the estimate would be good enough at that point, because what we've been using is. For every event, we've been using Willie Nelson's total bill for,
Sure.
to punch in,
right. Even higher,
yeah,
yeah.
okay,
Thanks for being here.
Definitely.
got it.
Appreciate
I think that's it.
okay. I'm out of
Yeah,
here.
think about
Bye, everybody, thank you.
Good.
All right, so next, I guess we'll move on to the discussion possible recommendation of, hold on, I'm so sorry, I skipped one. Discussion possible recommendation of street use permit Somerset School District. So then, my understanding, this is for the homecoming parade. And we're just basically reviewing. I don't know, is that?
So, this normally goes to Public Works, but, Bob wanted public safety to be aware that this is occurring. They are
Wow.
working on the insurance, so that's not included in the packet, but, yeah, that's all.
I'm very excited about them starting at Larry Forest Park instead of school. I think that's huge in terms of traffic flow and allowing folks to be able to navigate up and down Kucher and Depot for a certain amount of time before we gotta shut down. But
Circle background.
mhm.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to recommend it.
I will second that motion. Any other discussion? And so we are, so you said the insurance will be provided before the event?
Yes.
So if maybe wanna tweak the motion a little bit, have that contingency.
My motion contingent of the paperwork for insurance.
And I'll second that change. And any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So discussion officer vacancy update.
Yeah, we had interviews. The last Tuesday, Wednesday. So we had 6 applicants that we invited to interview. At least one of them got hired with a different agency prior to us being able to interview him. He went to Rice Lake PD. 2 others backed out within the week of the interview. But we had 3 folks interview and they did a good job, and I think we've identified one that we'd like to move forward with if and when the board has a chance to review the 7th officer position, and kind of ensure that we are gonna budget for that next year. So we're kind of in a holding pattern until at least next Tuesday, when the board hopefully can make a decision on which direction we wanna go. But we're ready with a candidate to begin a background. We're not gonna start the background until we know it's a budgeted position, so.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay. So more progress. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
I did send the Finance Personnel Committee a very lengthy email. Mike had previously mentioned that he wanted that presented in writing to the Finance and Personnel Committee to review.
Okay.
So,
Excellent job on that too.
Yes, thank you. It was thorough. This is a really good picture of what we're looking at.
Yeah, real good.
Yeah, that's actually,
I wouldn't have changed anything.
okay. Guess we'll be talking about that more throughout the week.
mhm.
Thank you for the update. Next, discussion possible recommendation, Somerset Chamber of Commerce open container request, picnic beer license date and premise update. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
so can you hear me okay?
hi Becca.
Who can't hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, thought I heard a nope. Okay. Are the Apple River Bridge Celebration Committee has still been meeting. I think we finally sort of landed on potential dates. We're still hearing that the likelihood that the governor is coming is high. But they won't actually give us a say until 2 to 4 weeks out from the event. And because Halloween activities are the 27th and 28th, and then homecoming is on the 14th, and then the project manager said that the first weekend in October is too soon. That gives us Friday, or actually Saturday, the 21st as our first preference, and Friday, the 20th as our plan B. So whether the governor comes or not, like, I think we're pretty set on those are the dates, one of those 2 dates. So I've sent that off to the governor's office to see if which one would work or if either one will work or not. We're also planning on, I think we've said this before, but whether he comes or not, we're also inviting our federal US congressmen and senators, and then the state ones as well for Wisconsin. So we'll see who can make that date work for them. As far as the open carry container, I think that gives you sort of a, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Not 1983,
Where do you see that?
under date organized, 1983. Is that 2023?
Oh, no, I think that's when the chamber was organized.
Oh, okay.
Officially, yes, the chamber was organized in 1983. It's had like 8 or 9 groups. I wouldn't call it a chamber of
Okay, that
commerce. I think
makes
that's what they
sense.
gave it. But yeah, that's our original when we incorporated with the state date.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Did I put that down as the date? I'm sorry.
No, you didn't.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, so as far as open carry container, just to kind of clarify that a little bit, many of the family-friendly activities are planned to be in Dick's parking lot, and Dick's is on board with this, like with the van and things like that as well. The staging of the area, Joel and Chris and Travis and I met for like a logistics sort of initial planning committee. I think we're gonna plan to keep the, Joel, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the east-west street, Main Street that goes up and down Main Street and up to Quick Trip open, and then up say the St. Anne's Way, but then close off Parent Street for a time.
Yes.
Yep. And I think the board was really happy with that because we were pretty committed to trying to not close down streets if possible. So yeah, so that's what we're working on. So under that, the open container, we need to meet with businesses next, but we're hoping that maybe most of the alcohol places are over on the, okay, which side is the east and which side is the west? I'm sorry. My happy place is on the west, right?
Yeah, west side of the bridge.
Yeah, so probably west side of the bridge is where we would anticipate most people getting drinks and walking around or whatnot, but it may be fairly difficult to say you can get a drink over there, but then you can't cross the bridge with your kids until, and come to the other side until you're done drinking it. So I guess we're still trying to, I mean, Chris, do you have any, did I understand that correctly, right? Like the committee was kind of like, we'll try to keep it there if we can, but there's no real way to enforce that. But I guess we're looking to you guys for some guidance on that as well still.
Big area.
It is a big area. I mean, the board could approve a large area as well. But I mean, there is a way to enforce it.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you guys would enforce it. I suppose, so one of the people brought up what I thought was a decent point, like this has been so difficult on people that while we normally want to have, like we do want to try and have some events that don't have to always have alcohol, like this is one of those historical events that, you know, for this one, maybe we should let people celebrate kind of the way they want to within reason, but I don't think we're going to have a ton of people sloshed on either side of the bridge either, but I don't know. We
Yeah,
can do whatever you guys want to do.
I think an important point of clarification here is that the chamber isn't planning on like setting up a keg or, you know.
No,
You know.
we are not selling. We just want to help support the businesses who do have that as their product and allow people to kind of celebrate. No, we will not be setting up a booth or selling. Although there was some, and I don't know if this would be under us because we're holding the insurance on it or not, but like in order for Oliphant to come down and participate if they want, or Liquor Depot or Alpha Rubber, like if they would be able to set up their own booth, would they be in charge of making sure that they get permission to do that, or would that be for us as well? So that then like they could come down and set up a booth maybe down in the open lot between the tattoo parlor and Sportsman's, so that like everything's sort of down in that contained block radius, I guess.
So Becca, you would not need a picnic beer license if the chamber is not planning on selling at the festivity
Yeah,
area.
that's what Chris said. So you can, whichever one we need for just the open carry is the one I think that the committee still wants. And then the other one, I was just trying to get all the paperwork in up front that maybe was possible since we were sort of in limbo.
Yeah, and there's no official application or license to have the open container. It's mostly just approval by, I think, either the police chief or the whole board. And I'd have to go look at the ordinance, but there isn't
Sure.
an actual license that you would get.
Oh, okay. So it's more just coordinating with the correct people to make sure that everything's
right
in place, right?
Yeah. Like for Market Fest, Joel, did that go to the whole board?
It
I
did.
can't remember.
Yeah, it
Okay.
did go to the whole board.
So it would follow that same process.
Okay. So would we need to have that info? See, is the board meeting this week?
Have to go.
It's
But
next
we
Tuesday.
can do it.
Next Tuesday, okay.
I
But
think
if it's not till October,
it's gotta be the full board.
never mind. This is
Shoot.
September.
Yeah.
I thought it was just us, like the public safety and obviously the chief.
I remember we reviewed it first, but then I think we recommended to the full
Sure,
board.
there you go. Yeah. That makes sense. That's all right, Joel.
Okay,
So to clarify, we're just looking for the open container. We now have like a 48-hour window for the date. We don't have a time yet, but we anticipate it'll probably be about 4 hours. It'll depend on if he's there, if he can come in the morning, noon or afternoon or evening or whatever. But we can let you know as soon as we know that.
I think the chamber should get a street use permit for that block of, Parent Street.
The Parent Street, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I need to resubmit that then, because we did put one in, but we need to change that. Thank you.
thank you. Now, Joel, what is your opinion on having them be able to cross that bridge? Or is that alcohol?
Yeah, I don't know how prevalent or big or much of an influence drinking's gonna be at this. I'm trying to think back to the pea soup days where we had that wide area. I don't think it was egregious or obnoxious or out of control by any means. I think we're gonna have a lot of staff on duty if the governor's gonna be here as well, so I guess that's what the community wants. So we could see how it goes, but you know, at the same time, like the responsibility is still gonna be on the bartenders.
What was the time frame again?
I don't know if we have that.
We
No,
don't have a time frame. It'll depend on when the governor's available, or if he's not coming, then we will decide our own time frame and we can work that out. We anticipate a 4-hour window for the celebration, probably with, set up and takedown on either side. It'd probably be about 6 hours.
You know how many people you're projecting in attendance?
That will entirely depend on whether or not he comes or not. So, I mean, if it's our community, I would say hope at least several hundred, but if we have VIPs there, that number could grow quickly.
Thanks.
I think, couldn't you just, if they're not serving alcohol on the east side of the bridge, couldn't you just limit the open container to the west side of the bridge?
Yeah, Becca brought that up earlier, saying that she's, she's concerned about families being put in a position to chug it or dump it. And, forcing someone to chug a beer before, or chug an alcoholic beverage before going over the bridge. But yeah, I think that's kind of what we were trying to aim for initially.
Yes, we want to try and keep the serving and selling of the alcohol on the west side.
So what is the point of having 2 locations for the event?
Kind of a couple fold. So the businesses who've been affected by the construction aren't just on one side or the other. Second of all, we are working really hard to kind of do some things that are unifying in the community. And so on that respect, you have businesses on both sides that probably would like to have, people near their businesses and celebrating with them. And yay, it's over and we survived it and we're thriving and we're moving forward. I think that was what was the discussion.
Okay.
Person don't have a problem with it. I mean, if it's 6 hours,
Right. Let's see.
I mean, maybe this is just one where we can kind of gauge it for others. Future? So,
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have future,
well, I
This
mean,
type of celebration.
I suppose it is actually like a whatever, it's.
Yeah, it's
I
not a
feel like-
continuing event. It's like a one-time thing. And
Yeah.
the activities that are going to be on the west side in Dix are going to be more family oriented anyways. Whereas some of the, like a cornhole tournament, or maybe if Oliphant, we haven't even talked to them yet, but if Oliphant wants to do like their trivia night or something, we talked about doing that or bingo over where some of the people who don't have kids may want to just listen to some music and have some fun and play trivia or a cornhole tournament and have some drinks or whatever and just sort of relax down on Main Street type of a deal.
As long as everybody drinks responsibly.
Really goes on the individual, right?
Right.
You're an adult, you make your own decisions. Yeah. Well, I'd like to bring businesses or bring people to the businesses if we can, you know, like you said, that promoting that unity of a larger area, that makes sense to me too.
We have a plan, we haven't done it yet, but create some sort of a passport where there's, each square is a business or a, logo of a business that was that is downtown or whatnot, and encourage people that night or during the celebration to go and spend money with them.
Be good after the bridge. That,
It's fresh
Yeah, if
sunlight.
you guys have any more questions for us, Chris is on the committee and you're feel free to email me as well, but we'll get the street permit fixed and talk with Joel about the open container once we have those date and the time frame nailed down.
Okay, and then you're reaching out to those businesses on that side to see how much they want to participate?
Yeah, the next step after this is to connect with all the businesses, and we're gonna send out like a survey online, and then also if they want to meet or do a Zoom meeting, we'll do it that way. But we'll connect with every business up and down that Main Street road at least, if not more.
so are we going to make a recommendation, upon, the extra information that we need?
Actually, I think we already did
Okay,
last month. If I remember correctly.
perfect.
Andrew, do you need anything else from us?
Last month you recommended the picnic beer license, which they no longer need because the chamber is not going to be selling. So what you as a committee should possibly either make a recommendation or not on the open container request and how big of an area you want to allow. And I guess also the use of that lot, the Market Fest, where Market Fest has been located, because Market Fest only goes through the end of this month for using that lot. So there's a couple of requests here that aren't on the agenda. The village board meeting is October 17th, so there is still time for them to get some requests in if they don't get everything in this month.
And iron out some more details.
Yeah,
Whatever you guys tell us we need, we'll get it in this month. I'll work on that this week.
okay. Well, the street use permit would have to go to Public Works on Wednesday, so you're gonna have to get somebody from either Donnie or two board committee members to revise the Public Works agenda for Wednesday to add your street use permit.
Okay, I see. Right.
And use of that lot. Public safety is going to have to make a recommendation on the open container. I think that's it.
Wonderful, thank you.
So I would make a recommendation for the alcohol street use permit. With updated information on, how many hours you wanted it for. And not to exceed probably 6 hours. So from start to finish. And, that could be on the west and the east side of the bridge. Did you have anything else did you think I should put in there?
Well, I think the street units thing should be a separate item, and then the open container.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So the street use permit is gonna go in front of Public Works. I feel like 6 hours might be a small window for the street use. If they are having a longer back and forth, well, maybe not,
Setting up the stage and things like that.
yeah. But,
Yeah, sorry, let me clarify that. That was if the governor's not coming. So if he decides not to come, or we don't have the VIPs that we're hoping that will bring people to Somerset, then just for the celebration event, we were thinking 4 hours tops. We don't think anybody's gonna spend a whole day at a community celebration.
hours might be okay,
yeah, that's not great.
okay. So you.
And then maybe could there be like a not a contingent, but like a possibility of if the governor decides to come, that we could expand those hours or something like that.
I don't have a real problem with that, I guess.
Right. Oh, mhm. So no, this is specific to the open container request, right? Because the street use permit is good for Public Works, so that's.
Oh, that's right,
already
yeah.
on. Yeah.
So for the open container,
That you wouldn't need that 6 hours then for the open container, right? That would include your setup and takedown, which I wouldn't think people would be drinking.
I don't think so, Joel. You have more experience in this.
Well, are you going into the nights or what? We don't know what time it starts. or
Well,
what
if it's a
time-
Friday, it's probably gonna be an afternoon, evening celebration, right? Because people are working and stuff like that. If it's a Saturday, then we have more options that way.
Maybe we should leave it intentionally vague until we have more info, but you can say you make a motion, recommend east-west
Yeah, we'll
container
make the-
during the event.
okay,
You ready, Gina?
you ready, Gina? So this will be just solely for this is what the alcohol
Open container.
open container request. For the 21st, was it?
Or the 20th.
Or I mean the 20th,
Yeah.
20th or 21st. It'll be on from the west and east side of the bridge. And we were thinking, 4 to 6 hours, depending
During the event.
during the event,
We'll just leave that open.
yeah.
And then are we talking from Parent Street up to, what is that, Francis? Who's Planet?
Yep,
How-
Francis Garfield.
Sorry, Becca, how far up the street were you talking?
Like all the way to
I
Olapop?
was think. Yeah, well, and that, I mean, I guess that depends on if they want to bring, their setup downtown closer or not, but otherwise, isn't Oliphant right there at Depot? What is that? Francis? Yeah, so it'd be Francis down.
Francis.
Well, I guess I was more thinking Depot.
Or Depot, yeah.
Yeah,
Depot.
that way maybe Oliphant can use the liquor depot's parking lot if they want to know this.
Or they could literally walk from Olapont.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
so from Depot. To then what would be the cutoff as far as for the east side?
Parent Street.
Parent, okay.
And Parent
Depot
ends
to Parent,
at Bluff Drive.
okay,
That's where.
that
Parent
works
ends.
good then. And that'll be from Depot to Parent, or, yeah, Parent Street
Parent Street would be included.
will be included. You gonna make me sound good?
I will go ahead and.
Thank you.
I think you have all the details worked out, right?
Yes.
Further discussion?
One way or another, we're getting there.
No, okay. All right, any further discussion? Josh, anything to weigh in?
Nope, I think you guys addressed everything that I had questions about.
Perfect. All right, so we'll go ahead and vote then. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is
you.
approved.
I'll be in touch.
Yep, thank you. Sounds like it'll be a fun event. Pretty exciting, actually. So now we can go ahead and move on to the 2023 municipal court budget report. And
I had no questions or concerns.
neither did I.
Looked good to me.
Great. So I will make a motion to approve the 2023 budget report.
Chris Morel, second.
Any discussion?
No.
Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And approved. The 2024 municipal court proposed budget.
Colleen said she was not ready to present that yet, so.
Okay.
You just skip over
Okay.
that.
So the 2023 budget report for the police department. And I've had a chance to review this. How about you?
I did too. There was no question.
Looked good to me.
Perfect. So I will make a motion to approve the 2023 budget report from the police department.
Chris Morel, second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, Josh?
Yeah.
You.
Oh, sorry.
You voted aye on that one?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, sorry. just
Aye.
a second. Okay, terrific, thank you. 2024 proposed budget?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to dive into that yet. I do want to mention that I am foreseeing a budget surplus at the end of the year. And I talked to Andrea a little bit about that, and I think it's important that we do a budget resolution and transfer some of this surplus into our capital improvements budget. We do have a deficit in one of the areas, I believe it's vehicle outlay. And Andrea was in favor of that, and I kind of wanted to plant the seed
Sounds good.
for that, for when it comes time to see where our numbers are at the end of the year,
Right.
Good.
so.
Okay. All right,
I think so.
so I guess now we can review the August incident reports.
Yeah, they're in the package there. Towards the very, very end, you can start to see the parking start.
See that?
I think next month we're gonna have
Yes,
a lot of parking. So essentially, we didn't have enough staff or means to actually physically site. Takes about 10 to 15 minutes to actually go up to a car, type in the plate, get the information, convert it to tracks, which is our system for writing reports. Type it all in there, validate it, correct any errors, print it, and then put it on the windshield. So essentially went through, we took photos of each violation. We split a piece of paper that referenced the signs with the ordinance. And then what we're doing is after the fact, we're going off the photos that were taken and citing them individually and mailing out the citations. Included in the mailer is the citation, again, the sign and the ordinance. So, oh, and the option to plead guilty or not guilty or no contest to court, municipal court document that they can instantly send in.
Any other comments or questions?
I don't. Josh?
I'm good.
All right. Well,
Department activities.
permanent activities.
The main thing I wanted to highlight in August was National Night Out. I wanna go on the record to thank Gina Thurnbeck, our office coordinator, and, Alexander Weisky, Officer Weisky, for another, successful outing. You know, Gina and Alex play a very important role in that, from invitations to, you know, receiving and, sending letters out for donations, and then actually day of putting it together, and activities and
Great job.
recruiting staff, working the booth. It was a hot day. It was a lot of fun. We got some pretty good photo ops. There's that balloon fight that was a huge success. They made a canine demonstration, and we went through a lot of hot dogs.
That's what I was thinking. You had a lot of people.
Yeah, so it was just a fantastic event, and it was good to see everyone, and a lot of interest in the Tesla, and a lot of people got to sit in there, get some photo ops.
Yeah.
Good job.
It was a fun outing.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for putting that on.
Yeah, thank you. Great job, guys.
Mhm. Good thing it's only once a year. It's a lot of work. Wonderful.
And then in August, we just had our final concert, which we were excited to wrap up. And it was kind of nice that the last one kind of was pulled last minute, for us at least. It was kind of a relief. But the village attorney did get back to me with a memo of understanding for recruiting outside agencies. So next year, I think we're gonna do a better job of kind of sharing the heavy lifting, because this year was a lot for guys. So they worked out every single one of them,
You
and
did good.
we had some guys dropping in traffic from heat exhaustion, and we had to do a better job of rotating them out.
Yeah,
So- Yeah, it's concert's a lot of work. They're long days, but like EJ said, overall, you know, there was a time where we would fill up like the entire wing of St. Croix County Jail with arrests. And this year, I think we overall had 2 arrests from concerts.
Right.
With that many people in and out, it's pretty impressive.
I think
That's
so too.
awesome.
Mhm,
Good job.
mhm. Okay. So should we go ahead and look at the bills then, the police and court bills?
I had no questions on that.
Look good to me.
Me as well.
Perfect. Any future agenda items anybody wants to discuss? Oh, well, easy enough.
That's the time.
Great.
How about you, Josh? Do you have anything?
I don't at this time.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to adjourn at 6:44.
Chris Bruno, I will second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
You guys too. Take care.
And thanks, Andrea. Appreciate the help. As always.
No problem. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too, Andrea.
You too.
Thanks.